Hi, I'm Rachna, and today I want you to meet someone really special. She has actually and drastically changed my skin, and I look the way I look today because of her. She is Dr. Nikita. Hi, Dr. Nikita. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. And she is a cosmetic dermatologist, and I will now hand it over to her. Yes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nikita Sonavne. I've been in dermatology for almost 15 years now, and I've known Rachna for at least 2 years. It's been quite a journey with her. I had a good time. She says she's had a good time too. So let's make your skin journey to a good one.
So yeah, today we are basically going to be talking about how Dr. Nikita can actually help you, that is the bride and groom who are having your wedding this year or the coming next year. A few things that you all must be aware of and should keep in mind. Yeah, so let's get started. So, Dr. Nikita, how long has it been for you that you've been practicing or doing this?
Yeah. I've been in the field of dermatology for almost 15 years now. Initially, I studied and I practiced in Mumbai. After that, I have traveled extensively over the world to meet with other expert dermatologists and plastic surgeons to understand how things are done overseas with other skin types and other regions, climates, so that when I'm back here and I deal with the Indian skin type and also many other travelers who come to me for help, I should be able to provide the right kind of care no matter what skin type they have, where they live, and what kind of lifestyle or skin problems they have.
Correct, correct. So, I'm sure you know how my skin was, and every skin is so different. I mean, to be honest, like it did not like my skin doesn't accept anything really at once, to be honest. So, are there these kind of brides, grooms, or even clients that you face at times, and how do you deal with that?
Yeah. I see a lot of different skin types, and sadly, with the kind of environment and lifestyle that we have, most people do deal with some sort of sensitivity. Like you just mentioned, that your skin doesn't accept things very readily, it takes time.
Yeah.
So, there are many people with similar problems too. So, it's not rare for me to find patients who have used things in the past and have bad experiences. They've sometimes been to a lot of doctors also and find it hard to trust that this person now is going to make my skin flawless. But these are things that can be dealt with. I deal with them every day, and at the end, I try to make sure that every single person who visits me does achieve the kind of skin that they came to me for.
Correct, correct. So I'm sure you know now that it's been 15 years of experience that helped my skin change drastically. Okay. So I have a few questions that we would like to ask you basically. So what are the most common reasons for which brides visit you?
Yeah, brides. It's. I feel they are sometimes confused. When they approach me, sometimes I have to help them figure out what is it that they are approaching me for. Sometimes they have skin issues. It could be skin problems like acne, pigmentation, or dark circles that they are dealing with, and they need a problem solution to look good for D-Day. Sometimes their skin is reasonably good, but they need to take it to the next level. And sometimes it's not the bride who comes, but her sister or mother would bring her along, trying to explain that now you need to take better care of your skin. So a mix of all these three types of women. Yes.
True. And do even men visit you? Like, this is for all the grooms out there.
Yes, they do. Men nowadays, they do take good care of their skin. It's not just in the metros. I have men who visit me from all parts of India, sometimes because they feel that I would be able to help them, or they do not have access to good dermatology or cosmetic dermatology services back where they live, and they would go through all that trouble traveling from anywhere all over India to make sure that their skin is healthy. Sometimes it's the wedding becomes a pretext that now at least their skin should get better.
Correct.
But sometimes it's just for themselves that they feel that whether I'm getting married or not, I need to have good skin now. So yes, it's sometimes they themselves feel they need good skin. Again, sometimes it's their sisters or wives who drag them along.
Correct. So, generally, if you can tell us that how soon or from the D-Day, how early should someone basically start taking care of their skin? Because see, as you said, sometimes their sisters, sometimes their friends or something like that will push them, okay, now you need to go. But no one really knows how much time should they actually take in hand, before the wedding.
Yes. I would say that anything more than 6 months is ideal. Usually weddings get fixed in a way, at least in India, where you have a year at hand. And then if you know that you have that much time, I think you should at least visit your dermatologist as early as possible. Whether you're going to start treatments, pre-bridals or not, that's a different thing. But at least you can have a healthy skincare routine in place before you go the treatment way. And if we're talking about actual problems that the person has in terms of skin issues like acne, pigmentation, etc., then at least 6 months. More than 6 months is sometimes required. For example, now a lot of brides or grooms would very commonly have acne issues, and as Indians we generally tend to have dark circles. So these two are probably the most common issues that I deal with, and both of these would require more than 6 months to treat. If the person has already a good skin and then they say less than 6 months, somewhere around 3 months, that's still good enough for me. Personally, I'm happiest when I have 6 months at hand to give the person what type of skin they want.
Okay, so I'll just remind them that you need to come 6 months beforehand of your D-Day so that Dr. Nikita can actually help you. Okay,
Yes.
and actually, as you said, the weddings nowadays are being fixed at least a year ago. So ideally, I would say take more time. The earlier, the better, because someone who would have a skin like me definitely needs a longer time. Because firstly, it's the skin, and you need someone to trust. And I was the most happiest because once I met Dr. Nikita. Of course, I visited her after reading a lot of reviews, which were amazing. You could read them too on Google. Okay,
Thank you.
and once she gave me something and she said one thing: just trust and try. If there's any issues, she was right here to help me with anything. May it be me panicking at 12 in the night, she was always there. So don't worry, but take more time in hand. So as she said, I'm mentioning at least 6 months prior your wedding date, you must visit her.
Yes,
Yeah. What sort of, like skincare routine, if you could just tell the viewers, that is kind of necessary, basic necessary, which people don't know. I mean, see, I visited you and now I'm taking care of my skin like a lot. Like I know there are so many things that need to be used and overall helped my skin's texture, hydration, and not having the over oily skin which I had earlier. So if you can just tell us basic things that we must keep in mind.
Okay, now if we talk about basics that everybody should be doing, including brides and grooms, I would definitely stress on cleansing your skin well and moisturizing. Now cleansing well basically means that you must wash your face at least twice a day. If you're a girl, you tend to wear makeup, at night practice some double cleansing where you first wash your face with your cleanser and after that you clean with a micellar water. Then after cleansing comes the moisturizer. Now whether it's just twice a day or only at night, moisturizer is usually the next step after cleansing. Then if it's daytime, you put your sunscreen on, and if it's nighttime, you put your night cream on. So this is a very basic thing to follow, and whether you're a girl or a guy, this holds true. It's not that girls need to take more care or guys need to take less care. These things should be practiced by everybody.
Okay. Cleanse your face and moisturize at least twice is what the doctor recommends. What style of diet or lifestyle would you recommend? Because it's all so stressful and it's all, there's so much of even pollution outside that internal, external, everything matters, like overall. So, what would you guide us, please?
In terms of diet, I usually like to make simple changes, but I encourage my patients to make sustainable changes. It should not be like a yo-yo diet where you push yourself so strict that a month later you tire out of it. Try to make sustainable changes. According to me, if there is just 3 simple things that you can follow, it solves a lot of problems. The first thing is eat freshly cooked food or home cooked meals rather than eating outside food. The second thing is eat your meals, don't skip, because often we get so busy that we forget to eat, or we're not eating on time. That pushes our body off rhythm and that can cause further problems. And try to avoid as much stuff that comes from packets. So anything that is pre-packaged, which you heat in the microwave or eat, and just maybe minimally cook and eat, and noodles and pastas and stuff which you try to get away with quick cooking at home, avoid those things. So rather you prepare or partly prepare your meals beforehand and have them freshly cooked. So these 3 would be your golden rule. Then if you're already doing these 3 things, then you can further look into other stuff. Like, of course, try and include some soups in your diet, try and include some fresh vegetables or salads. If you're in a habit of having tea or coffee, try to avoid too much of sugar or milk in it. Try to keep it a black coffee or a green tea, that would be nice. And other than that, few other things which I like to also say is include ghee in your diet. Ghee, the traditional way that we prepare in India, is like liquid gold. It can really do wonders for your entire system, balance your hormones, get your skin to glow, make your hair glossy and shiny. We often switch towards the diet version of foods and leave the ghee out thinking it's bad.
True.
But believe me, if you include a little bit of ghee in your diet every day, even if it's a teaspoon or 2, it's going to make a lot of difference in the long run. And one thing definitely, or rather 2 things to avoid, is try and give up on refined sugar and try and give up on refined flour as much as you can, and cut down on the dairy. The way dairy is being produced nowadays is not very healthy. So it isn't the milk that is the problem, but the way it's being produced is becoming a mass problem. So if you have any doubt that dairy might be a problem in your body, just give it up. It's not worth it.
Okay, thank you so much. That was quite a lot of information. I hope you heard it. And so, what are the most popular packages or treatments that you have here at Ambrosia Aesthetics?
Yeah. At Ambrosia, I rather break it down into different areas of your body and different concerns. So there are face and neck treatments, which are the most common ones that we do. Okay. Then there are body treatments as well. In the face and neck, again, there would be either a problem solving or an enhancement. Problem solving usually happens for people who actually have problems with their skin, like acne or scars, or sometimes brides like to do a little bit of sculpting so that they look good on camera. These would be the enhancements that we talk about. So they don't really have a problem, but we need to get them to the next level. Then in terms of body, the most popular treatments are laser hair reduction, where brides definitely feel like having their underarms or bikini area done, or the arms and legs, for example. These are areas which every woman likes to maybe do a waxing. Instead you would opt for a laser hair removal. Then some brides also like to opt for a full body detanning, which can be done with the help of microdermabrasion or peels. And some like to take it to the next level, where they want a full body skin lightening, wherein they want to make the system healthy, detox as well as lighten. Then we do vitamin drips for them. Okay. So these are the most popular treatments that we do here.
Okay, nice. A lot of them. I'm definitely coming for a few before I get married. Sure. So I wanted to know, so nowadays, as you said, a lot of people have dark circles. So what are the solutions? And I mean, earlier I thought it's a natural thing and dark circles can't be treated. But as you said, it can be treated. So how long would it take first, and how do you go about it?
Now, in Indians, dark circles usually can be of two types. One is the actual dark circles where the skin around the eyes is dark, and the other is the hollowing beneath the eyes, which makes the darkness around the eyes accentuated. So that is called a tear trough or sunken eyes. Most Indians would have some combination of both of these. Treating the sunken eyes is the easy bit. It's usually done in a single session. Dermal fillers is what we use, which contains hyaluronic gel. It's an injectable treatment. So we apply a numbing cream, leave it on for about half an hour. The skin becomes completely numb. Then with a fine eyelash-like needle, the hyaluronic gel is placed into the hollow area underneath the eyes. That stretches the skin and it gives a lift to that hollowing which is there. Immediately the shadowing effect improves, and because of the stretching of the skin, the dark circles look visibly lesser. Person looks a lot fresher and not tired anymore. So this is the easy part. The next part is treating the actual darkness that might be there all around the eye area, that is the actual dark circles. Treating that might require some blood test to be done for me to figure out whether there is any metabolic cause, any deficiencies that are adding to the problem. After that, there might be a peel treatment or a laser treatment that I recommend. Sometimes I also like to do platelet rich plasma, or sometimes if there is a lot of wrinkling in the corner of the eyes along with the dark circles, then we opt for a little bit of botulinum toxin to relax those wrinkles. But all in all, this whole process, if a bride were to have dark circles and wanted it fixed, I would say give me 3 months to solve the whole thing for you.
3 months, okay, so 3 months. And as you spoke about the derma fillers, I mean, of course, that we being normal people, we aren't aware how safe it is. So can you just tell me how safe it is? Like,
dermal fillers by their inherent nature are hypoallergenic. The research is strong, so we know they're absolutely safe. The problems with safety arise when the wrong type of filler is injected by the wrong person under the wrong circumstances and in the wrong place. So the problems arise when the person performing the treatment is not experienced enough, or the wrong molecule is used. Now fillers, they are available in different molecular weights. So if the wrong molecular weight is used, it can end up looking really poofy and funny. Or if it's not done hygienically enough, then of course there is a risk of infection because it is an injectable procedure. So, and of course it is as much art as much as science. So just filling is not the role. You have to sculpt it, mold it, make it look natural. So if any of these factors is missed, then it can maybe be a more dissatisfactory treatment. But here generally when I do fillers for the under eye area, believe me, the person, the bride herself usually forgets that she ever had the issue. It looks really natural. That's how I like it, where people usually would like to ask you, okay, you know, what have you done?
Correct.
Is it the rest? Is it your diet? Did you lose weight? So they notice that something is very pleasantly nice about your face, but not the fact that, oh look, she had dermal fillers. That's not a nice thing.
Correct, correct. So how do you decide, as you said, that how much quantity is required? Again, it would differ from maybe, let's example, take a bride, a groom, even person to person. So do you kind of first suggest them that, you know, okay, let's, you know, do it of this much quantity right now, and then you observe, or how do you decide?
Yes, that's a very right thought process you are at. When, especially for the first time when someone is getting it done, I like to take it slow, because if I inject a little, I can always inject more. But if I've already injected a lot, it can be dissolved, but it's a waste of time, money and energy. So I like to keep the bride in control, where we do a little bit each time, and usually it's done in 2 or 3 divided sessions, so that she feels happy about what she's having done, rather than feeling that she can't really connect with what she sees in the mirror.
True. And how often do the brides need to do it? Like, how long would it last, rather?
Now, dermal fillers, the longevity depends upon the molecular weight and it also depends upon the brand, that is what formulation it is. For the under eye area, I usually use, I would not like to take the brand name, but I like to use something that is long lasting.
True.
And because it is an immobile area, it doesn't move, this area doesn't move much, so it's going to last even longer. I like to do something that lasts easily for 1 or 2 years, so that you don't need to keep doing it. But if it is, for example, dermal fillers in the lip area, then I like to keep the lips really soft. But that also means that it might disappear a little faster because there is so much movement. We talk a lot.
Correct.
So for the lip area, I would say 9 months is a good time. 9 to 12 months it can last. It looks natural, and yet if you like what it did for you, you repeat it. If you feel that you did it, you don't want to do it again, then it will be out of your system in about a year or so.
Okay, so is this harmful for the body, the fillers?
Not at all, not at all. Hyaluronic gel per se is an inert gel, and our body, our skin has hyaluronic already. It's just that sometimes as we grow older, it disappears faster, giving us hollowness under the eyes, or as we grow older, the cheek area starts to flatten down. So we just replace what has been lost if we are trying to do a problem solution. And if it is enhancement that we are looking at, then we just add where it should have been but is not there. So if we are trying to create high cheekbones or a sharper chin or a straighter nose, we just add it in that particular area. It's going to go inside the skin, bind with the skin, become part of the skin, and the body doesn't really react to it or anything.
Okay, correct. As you said, because it's always been a part of your system, so it is that thing only that you're injecting in, and there's nothing to be scared of.
No.
Correct. So as you said, like 1 to 2 years for the eye, and about like say 6 to 9 months average for the lip area.
Yes,
depends.
yes, 9
like
months, 9 to 12.
9 to 12 months. Okay. So a lot of times nowadays, of course, with, as you say, as you grow, you get these kind of lines, like the expressive lines here or the smile lines. So is there a solution for that? I mean, because it's your wedding day, and you want to just look perfect.
Yes, I see where that question is coming from. It's nowadays people don't get married too early. We wait, we find ourselves, find our career, get to know ourselves before we get to know other person, and then commit. So usually now brides are anything, sometimes even 30 plus. So by that time some amount of aging is bound to set in. So when we talk about lines here, these are called the forehead lines, or the ones that you were describing here, these are called the smile lines. Now what happens here is this particular muscle called the frontalis, as we grow older, it starts crunching more than required. So for calming down the muscle activity, to get it down to a normal activity from the hyperactivity that it is in, most commonly an injection treatment is done, which is called botulinum toxin. The most common brand name available here is the Botox, but there are others available too. Those injections are put in with the help of a very fine eyelash like needle in very specific points in the areas that you want to relax those lines. So it can be done for the lines up here, it can be done for these angry frown lines here, or when one smiles you get these crow's feet lines here, and also for the pull that happens, the muscle pulls down, causing the smile to turn downwards. A little bit can be added here. Sometimes we do neck elongation by putting the Botox in the neck area as well. So these are all muscle related lines. So we relax the muscle to a normal activity, and it's going to make the lines disappear or rather calm down. The effect of the Botox lasts anywhere between 3 to 6 months depending on what dose is used and the person's metabolism.
Okay, so when you said like you do the Botox and the fillers, now are they safe? Is Botox safe?
Yes, Botox has been researched very, very vastly and widely. So safety again is not an issue. Like I explained earlier with the fillers also, who does it and how it is done is what actually matters. Botox by itself, if it's done correctly, can only give you benefits. But if it's done wrongly, or if it's injected in the wrong muscles, then of course we can have effects that we don't want to have.
Got it. So now there's this one thing that I personally wanted to ask you about, was how safe is laser treatment? Like, because we are going to be doing it, like as you said, the face, underarms, bikini, and they are the most sensitive. Like, face is what you're going to look at. So you definitely don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
So how safe is it?
Laser hair removal is very safe if it is done correctly. In lasers, there are 2 or 3 different technologies which are being used, that is the IPL, the Nd:YAG and the diode. I personally like the diode very much because that is considered as the gold standard. It works on thick hair as well as thin hair, it works on light skin as well as dark skin, and it's painless. Now, safety is not a problem as far as if your doctor is doing the settings. I feel all these safety issues that we hear with, that is the nasty effects of the lasers, it's often done by the therapists or the technicians themselves. Sometimes either the doctor is busy or not available, and then, or in some clinics it's just the technicians who are handling it and there is no dermatologist to look into it. Then of course it's like a very powerful machine that can do harm if it's not done correctly. The most common problem, the question I have is it gonna cause problems in childbearing later if I do my bikini area?
Correct.
So absolutely not. See, when the laser light is flashed on the skin, it gets selectively absorbed by the hair follicle only. It's not going to go anywhere inside the body, it cannot do that, and at the most it gets absorbed a little bit by the melanin, that is the dark pigment in the skin. But when we do the settings correctly, even that is not a problem. So internal organs, definitely no problem. At the skin level, settings need to be done right, and if the settings are right, the person sees improvement with every single session and there is never any problem.
Okay, so as you said, we don't need to be worried about if the right doctor is doing it.
Yes.
And also, as you said, now there's no doubt or scariness about later the woman bearing the child or something like that. What if she's doing an underarms? Is it going to affect the breastfeeding if she's going to be doing to the child?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
So that is also not a worry. So
No.
it's absolutely safe for the
Absolutely
bride.
safe. Yes.
So yes, you must definitely visit her. So as you said and as you described really well, thank you so much for describing and even clearing my doubts. Personally, even I had a few doubts about laser hair removal and how safe is it. So now I'm sure that it's nothing to worry and I can definitely visit her, and so can you. So also I wanted to talk about skin lightening. If you can, kind of talk about it.
Yes. That is one of the hot treatments that a lot of women are seeking nowadays. When someone comes to me, whether it's a bride or just a normal girl asking for skin lightening, I like to know where their motivation is coming from, because see, I believe that skin of all color, if it is healthy, radiant, it looks beautiful. So I'm not personally someone who would recommend, you need a lighter skin tone and I have XYZ. It's not like that. But sometimes some women just feel that they need a lighter skin tone because they were born with a different color, and as they grew up and grew older, the sun damage just piled up all over their body. So they want to get back to their normal color. Sometimes, sadly, the social system is such that for certain professions, the demand of lighter skin is there. So if the person feels that it's going to take them professionally higher if they were slightly healthier or lighter skin color, then I'm okay with doing it. But safety is not an issue again if it is done by the right person. So the most common treatments for skin lightening, if we are looking only at the face and neck area, it can be done with several treatments like say regenerative peels or mesotherapy. But sometimes we need to resort to IV drip treatments which involve a lot of vitamins to correct deficiencies, to increase the antioxidants in the system. Then I say that if you're trying to take your skin to your genetic color, it's safe. Pushing it beyond that, I would not recommend, because it gets difficult for your system to handle that sometimes, and also the maintenance becomes very, very rigid and strict. So we do see a lot of actors and celebrities that they were of a certain color and now they're of a certain different color altogether. it's their prerogative. They decided to be like that, but they can afford to maintain it that strictly also.
Correct.
For common people like you and me, I wouldn't recommend that. But if you want a little lighter, just get rid of the tanning and stuff,
Yeah.
then there are drip treatments or IV treatments, oral supplements even, oral sunscreens are there, oral antioxidants, glutathione boosters that can be tried to give you your healthy skin color back.
Okay. One thing that I wanted to ask you, for clients who are maybe due to work commitments, or because they do not stay in like India or not in Mumbai, who do not stay in Mumbai, can they do online consulting with you?
Yes, we do have an official online consultation protocol wherein if the person is staying in India, they need to email me. The link is there in my website. The details regarding their problems, clear photographs, and then an appointment is booked. The fees will be via bank transfer, and the medications, if it's not available in their area, we do courier it from here. This is for the Indian residents. For the overseas residents, we do the same protocol, but we are not able to courier the medicines overseas. So if they have any friends or relatives visiting India, we can courier them anywhere to them and they can carry them.
Okay, alright. So I think it's really convenient for people who are not in Mumbai, not necessary that you have to come here to visit the expert. You can just book an online appointment, and as she said, she needs a certain list of things of your photos and everything, close-ups and whatever. I'm sure once you talk to her, she's going to explain all that.
Yes.
And she will definitely guide you through everything. So like how I have an issue that if I get tanned by any chance by standing even 2 minutes under the sun at the wrong time, it's gonna be like really
Yes.
bad, and it doesn't go as long as for 6 months.
Yes.
And so I think these kind of things could be helpful for them, because as you said, personally even I am not someone like that who wants to be extremely fairer. I mean, everyone has their own skin, and as you said, if it's glowing, if it's healthy, that's it.
Yeah.
You just need that. So these treatments of skin lightening, or rather, also named as a little getting to your original, what do you say? Original
Skin tone and
Yeah,
color.
yeah, skin tone and color would be like a nice thing to have.
Yes.
Everyone would want to kind of
Yes.
have it. So yeah, I think it was quite interesting. Just kind of trying to absorb and understand. It was really nice, like a lot of information that we had after meeting you, and I'm sure did the bride and grooms, and I'm sure they know where to visit, because just look at her, how she glows. She is the right doctor who has like almost more than 15 years of experience, and nothing to worry, because I have personally visited her and I have this really good even toned skin color just because of her. I mean, a lot of things took time to adjust to my skin, but since she was right there for any doubts, any queries, any worries of mine, to calm me down first and then help me with other things. So it was really nice. It was really nice to have you, Dr. Nikita. It
Thank
was
you.
really
Thank you,
nice.
Rachna.
Yeah. Follow her on Instagram. Her page link is,
Dr. Nikita Official.
yeah, it's Dr. Nikita Official. If you could just spell it, please.
DrNiketaOfficial.
Yeah, it's Dr. Nikita Official. Do follow her page. It's on Instagram, and do follow her website. I have mentioned the link in the description. Do have a look. And the clinic name is Ambrosia Aesthetics. And if you can tell us where this is located.
My clinic is in Andheri West in Lokhandwala, the main market area. You can find the location on Google Maps. Just search Dr. Niketa Sonavane. That's me.
Yeah, it's Dr. Nikita for you. Yeah, it was really nice to have you.
Thank you, Rachna. Thank you.
Do subscribe to our channel. The company name is Shutter Speed India. We are into wedding photography and wedding film. The link is mentioned in the description below. Do have a look at our work. Like, comment and share this video with as many brides and grooms as possible. Till then, bye-bye.